no like readable thing for it.
I think we're good. The stupid mob crush thing every time. I don't even know why it's here. Disable. I go to the dashboard here.
Oh boy.
Can you check audio? Make sure we're good. We good here?
What's that?
Can you check audio?
Listen to the audio.
Yeah. I want to make sure we're coming through okay before we start. I will tweet out really quick. Boom. Close my Twitter.
Yeah.
We're sounding
testing,
okay?
1 2. Testing 1 2.
My audio should be good. Your audio should also be good.
Wait, hold on. How far behind is the stream compared to our voices?
It's like 30 seconds, I think. So you should hear that in a hot minute. Anything?
Yeah, I think we sound okay, Tony.
Okay, cool.
I think we're fair enough.
Thank you everyone for putting up with us checking the audio because we've had issues a couple times. But welcome everyone to Follow My Tracers live here on YouTube. I'm one of your hosts, Figure9, aka Tony, and I'm joined by Power Grudge and Harley. Guys, what's going on?
Hey. Hello.
What have you guys been playing this week?
Harley, why don't you go first? Mine's not really that exciting. I'm pretty much one game.
The same thing. I haven't even really played much this week either.
Oh no?
No, I played like 7 hours more of Cyberpunk.
Right.
7 hours, wow.
Yeah. I put in a few hours today, and then I guess I put in some maybe Sunday or something. And then I played season 1 of Call of Duty Cold War / Warzone. A couple hours there, and that was kind of about it.
Busy week, eh?
Oh wow.
What about you, Jim?
Well, that's not too bad. I mean, I'm kind of similar. I haven't played COD, but I've been playing. I think my total save play time right now is at about 13 hours for Cyberpunk on PC.
Yeah, mine's the same.
And
13 hours.
I'm still really enjoying it. There's still its issues, but I'm still really enjoying it. And I know this isn't a big deal, but it's been eating me alive all week. Just very quickly, I want to say last week I was very tired, so I came across more negative than I should have. I do love the game. I love the RPG systems it has. The combat is pretty good. It's not my favorite, combat in the world, but it's pretty good. The world itself is awesome. The gameplay is very fun. It's very immersive. The voice acting is very well. The characters are super intriguing, and I can't get enough of it. To sum up all my thoughts from last week that I should have got out. But other than Cyberpunk, I've been trying to start playing Star Wars Squadrons, but every time I do, something comes up, so I haven't had a chance to really play that. I intend to beat it, the campaign anyway. So I'm looking forward to that. And then other than that, I haven't really been playing too much more. I was playing more Age of Calamity, but I'm not doing any story stuff. I'm just sort of catching up on a lot of the side stuff. So that's been taking up a little bit of time too. But I have been playing. I played a lot more of the story earlier in the week, and then it's really good. That game is a lot better than. Not that it deserves to be. That's the wrong way to put it. But based on my experience with the first Hyrule Warriors, I really think Age of Calamity. Based on the reviews that I've seen that are, high 8s and 9s, I think it does deserve it. Other than that, I haven't really been playing anything else other than those two games.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, this week I've been playing a bit of a mishmash. I played a bit more Cyberpunk, and I'm kind of where you guys are at, that 13 to 15 hour mark. I don't know my exact play time, but I'm in that area. I've been playing a bit more DBZ Kakarot as well, kind of slowly going through that, and I've also been playing some World of Warcraft as well. I streamed some WoW last night, and I'm probably gonna play a bunch of World of Warcraft over these next 2 weeks because I am off. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's what I've been doing. A quick thank you to everyone who tuned into our podcast last week and certainly just over the last few weeks. We really appreciate it. This is our 7th episode, but technically 8th episode, and it's kind of crazy to think that we're 8 in. It still feels like it's brand new in a lot of ways, which it still is, but thanks everyone for tuning in and supporting the channel and supporting the show. And a reminder for everyone watching live here on YouTube that you guys can ask questions in the chat as the show is going on, and we will do our best to respond live here during the show. And for anyone watching the VOD, you can also leave a comment, and we will do our best to kind of circle back and answer your questions or your comments on the next episode. So before we get into the meat and potatoes of today's topic and just the news and everything this week, guys, let's do our fuel up with G Fuel, not sponsored section. Have you guys had any G Fuel yet today? And what flavor have you had, if so?
Oh yeah, I've
Had
been
a
fueling
bit.
up.
Jim, what have you had?
What have you been having, Harley? Oh, actually,
Whoa,
okay.
whoa.
Yeah, Harley, you go first. Actually, you go first. I'm excited.
Mine's quick. Sour blue chug rug.
Oh, the classic. I've been having peach rings, Sonic peach rings, to be specific.
Oh,
I want to try
So
both of
good.
those really bad.
I think
Really bad.
those two are probably my top tiers.
Really?
I love sour blue chug rug, and I love peach rings. I think my third would be star fruit. They're just also different.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The sour one sounds really good to me. I really want to. That might be the next flavor I try. Is the sour blue chug rug?
I like sour stuff.
Yeah, me too.
So
Yeah, I do
it's
too.
sour phaseberry is like I've noticed like drinking sour phaseberry and then drinking sour chug rug, like you can tell the difference between like the
Yeah.
sourness levels. Like chug rug seemed almost like in a sense like sweeter than sour. Sour?
I think I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I have not had any G Fuel yet today. I'm gonna have some after the podcast. I just finished eating dinner, so I want to let that digest first a little bit. But yeah, I had some Shiny Splash yesterday, so I guess that's the most recent one. But I'll probably have some Raging Gummy Fish or Green Apple tonight. One of those two. That's what I'm gonna go with. Because that's all I have.
I wish I had green apple. I really enjoyed that. When I got my starter pack, I really enjoyed green apple. That was like, I kind of regret not getting the tub of it, but at the same time, I don't know. I look over to my right because I'm in our like kitchen dining room area, and I just see all 10 of them, and like, oh my God, I
10.
just want to have more.
Yeah, I got 3. So, Harley, how many do you
A
have?
third of my counter space is on the
8.
8. Fuck. Yeah, see, I gotta catch up. Dang.
Might get more if there's a like a Boxing Day BOGO.
That's if there's a Boxing Day BOGO, I think I'm gonna jump on it too. I think I'll go for that
Well, every
one.
day they're doing different deals, right? So maybe that has to be another deal, or maybe just like everybody gets one free tub. Oh my God, I think I'd explode. If that was
knows?
the case.
We'll see. But
It would be Christmas or holidays, whatever you celebrate. Xmas.
the holidays. Again, not sponsored by G Fuel. We just like it a lot.
We wish
so
we were though.
we wish we
I-
were one day.
Full
One day.
disclosure, it would be pretty cool.
It would be awesome. But we recognize we're a ways off there, but that's our dream, and we're gonna keep pushing for it. Anyways, we have a very small Infinite watch this week, so let's get into Infinite Watch.
Ball.
All right, I just played the Halo guy going ball for the intro this time. So there's no real news to talk about with Halo Infinite this week. There were some pictures released from the Halo TV series from 343. And it was really just a couple. Yeah, it was in their most recent community update. So kind of their year-end community update, and they showed pictures of the battle rifles on set and like a UNSC crate as well, and also like a picture of like what looks to be like an elite or a grunt kind of hand as well. From the set, which I mean they all looked really cool, but we've barely seen the show. But they did confirm that they were able to do a lot of shooting this year despite everything, and the show's doing well. So hopefully that means we'll see some more next year. So that was kind of the big news. But then aside from that, there was also some more concept art shown for Halo Infinite. And this is not necessarily a new piece. It was kind of circulated before at different events, but it wasn't really widely circulated online. It's kind of this piece where it's like there's a base on a hill, like a UNSC base, and there's some Marines outside of it, like kind of guarding it, and there's some other Marines like loading crates, and there's like a warthog as well, and you can kind of see the ring off in the distance, and it almost looks like just like a mini base that you can kind of get to. It was a nice piece of concept art, but there was no real big Halo Infinite news this week, and I kind of expected that given the massive bombs that were dropped last week for Halo Infinite. So hopefully in the new year, January, we'll get maybe another Infinite update, or an Inside Infinite. I forgot what they were calling it. I think it was Inside. So hopefully January we get another Inside Infinite with some more information. But that's it for Infinite Watch this week. Not really much to talk about there, guys. I would ask for your comments on it, but I mean, are you guys like looking forward to the Halo TV show? Are you like there isn't really much to talk about here.
I think I am. Are you not looking forward to the show, Harley?
I was gonna say there's not much I want to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's not much to say, right?
No.
Yeah, that's true too.
I'm excited for the show, but I mean it's probably a ways off.
Yeah, I still think at best we see it maybe late next year. What could be happening, and it does make sense because it's Combat Evolved's 20th anniversary next year, right? So maybe in like a big kind of celebration, there's obviously Halo Infinite coming out, and maybe the TV show is kind of like alongside it kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Or maybe we get like the first episode of the Halo TV series like in October before November or something like that,
awesome.
You know? There could be
like episodic.
Yeah, like an episodic thing, maybe like The Mandalorian, right? Where like every week there's one new episode. That'd be cool. That would make sense
even
too.
like a month.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, they could do a lot of cool things with it.
That'd be awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There hasn't been too many good Halo movies / pieces of media out there, I will say. Nightfall, which was like Halo 5's thing, was not great at all. What was the one for Halo 4 called again? Was it Forward Unto Dawn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that was the weird one with like the kind of cadets training, and then the Covenant attacked, and then Chief kind of saves him, and that's how you get introduced to Lasky. Kind of lame. It wasn't great. And then there was Fall of Reach, which I didn't mind, and Halo Legends is probably the best out of all of them in my opinion, which is kind of the kind of like shorts of like different Halo stories.
Animated shorts.
Yeah, animated shorts, and they're all different animators and different studios and stuff, so all of them kind of look and feel a lot different.
It's like a collage. It's like a collage almost.
Yeah.
It's like a bunch of different random stuff.
It's like the Animatrix. If anyone's ever watched that.
So.
I don't know if
You
I've
ever
ever
heard
seen
the
that.
Animatrix? So I think it was after the Matrix Revolutions came out in 2003.
Oh, okay.
So it's a bunch of different shorts that kind of take place
remember
in
that
there.
now.
But every short
Never
is
saw it.
some are 2D, some are 3D. Like they're all different, which I really like. There were some really good shorts in that little series. I have like a box set of the Matrix movies on Blu-ray, and I don't think it's a bonus disc, but like the 4th movie or included thing is the Animatrix. So it's pretty cool. It's not. I don't watch it all the time. I've only really ever seen all of them through maybe twice. But
Like
they're
Halo
all like,
Legends.
yeah, like they're all quality. Like none of them are bad. It's just some are better than others. So there you go.
Nice.
Depends on your like artistic preference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
That makes me want to watch Halo Infinite again. Or not Infinite, sorry. Legends. I have
it's
Halo
been a
Infinite
while
on the mind.
I've
Yeah.
watched it.
It's probably been a year or two since I've watched it fully, so I do have it on
Can you get that
DVD.
stuff on Halo Waypoint? Oh, I was gonna say I don't know if you can access it online anywhere, but that's cool. You own it.
It was on Netflix for a while. I don't know if it still is.
Ooh, that's a good question.
You should look. I remember when it was kind of a big deal when it came on Netflix, because then people on PlayStation could like watch Halo, which like was kind of like ooh back in the day. But anyways, that's enough for Halo for now. That's enough for the Infinite Watch. Let's get into the news and current events of the week. Let's just dive right into the big one off the start, guys, which has been the fallout of Cyberpunk 2077.
Oof.
it's
It
been
went
a oof
pretty
moment.
south.
And to kind of summarize just kind of what's happened so far, CD Projekt Red put out a big apology statement saying that they kind of recognize that the game wasn't where it needed to be on last gen consoles, and it was also just buggy across the board. They weren't proud of it. They are offering refunds, and PlayStation yesterday actually delisted the game from their online stores. You can't even buy it digitally on PlayStation anymore. And they're offering full refunds for that. And Xbox did not delist it, but they are offering full refunds for it. If you bought it at a retail store, you can try to get a refund from there. But if you can't, you can actually reach out to CD Projekt Red, and they will actually pay out of pocket for your game. So you could actually end up owning the game and also getting a refund, which is kind of nuts. They are putting out two.
You have until the 21st for that. By
yeah,
the way.
yeah, exactly. It's not an unlimited time thing. So CD Projekt Red, they are putting out 2 large patches in January and February to help the kind of base Xbox One and PS4 performance, and hopefully just performance and bug fixes across the board as well. So, I mean, guys, this has been a cluster a cluster fluck, if you will, to say the least, this week. What were your initial reactions, thoughts about this whole situation, Jim? I'll pass it to you first.
My first thought when I first saw that PlayStation delisted it, I sent it to you guys, and it was just, I think I said big oof or like oh god or something like that, because that's a big move on PlayStation's part, especially in their statement, the way they kind of worded it, saying they strive for quality and or something like that, but they're pretty much digging at them for releasing a game that essentially was, I don't want to say wasn't finished because it is like content complete, but just a game that wasn't functioning on the level that it should have been, or just the fact that they didn't show the game functioning that way on old gen consoles. My other big thought was this game went from pre-release to, at least before the reviews started coming out and people were getting review copies, it went from like one of the most hyped games ever, and now it seems like CD Projekt Red is kind of like the dead horse everyone's kicking right now, because everybody's just, at least everything I've seen, everyone's kind of really losing their minds over this, because this is kind
taking
of
like
crazy.
a full 180.
Yeah, this is one of the biggest like shifts I've seen in a while for games, and it sucks too because I love the game. Okay, I should say I love it now that I'm playing the PC version, but I kind of want to ask you, Harley, because you said you've played quite a bit more. How is, because I know the one patch has come out for it. You're playing on the original Xbox One, for viewers who don't know. Like, how has your experience been now that you've played like a significant amount more? Have you run into more bugs, or is it kind of stabled out a bit?
I've run into more bugs. It's like
Really?
I'm almost kind of like noticing them more and more now. Maybe I wasn't before because it was all like, oh, look at this, it's finally out, I'm playing it kind of thing, and now it's like I've like got my like, I don't know, fill, or like the shock of it is gone. And I'm starting to just like, oh yeah, there's a guy inside of a door. Oh, I can't drive my car because an invisible person is like in front of it. It's just like, I don't know, like I'm getting more like freezes and like going through like buildings, or just kind of moving through the map, it'll just like stop and like load. It won't go to a loading screen, but it'll load, so I'm getting that issue a bit more. I don't know.
It's kind of how I felt too when I had
It
it on
doesn't look
Xbox.
great either. It looks really like I have film grain and off. It's like it's super grainy. I don't know. I'm kind of considering just going for a refund. And
I
then
don't
just
I don't think anyone would blame you if you did, because at this point, do you really want to experience Cyberpunk like that when maybe 2, 3, 4 months from now, whenever it is, when the game's finally in a good spot on last gen systems, maybe it'll be on sale. And I think,
what I was thinking.
and I think now there's a very good chance they're going to do that. Before it came out, I would say no shot this game's going to be full price for at least a year. But like now that we know the state it's in, like when this game's finally in a good state on last gen consoles, like I think they're going to deep discount this thing. They're going to be like, hey everyone, please come back, please play the game, give us another shot. Look, it's discounted.
Yeah.
Right.
This point for me, I don't know if it's worth like $90.
That's
90
fair.
plus with tax.
That's fair,
At
man.
least on your generation of console, because like being, having like firsthand experience in playing it and then kind of, being disenchanted by it and going, okay, like I can't stand these issues anymore. Like this is not, and sorry to say it like this, but like this is really not the game. Kind of like with Halo 5, but in a different reason. Like this isn't the game I thought I was buying. Like I knew on the older gen consoles it wasn't going to run or look as well, really, or at least it was going to run like a lesser frame rate.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to be so jittery, and again, the bugs and the issues. I never had a crash. I only played it for maybe like 5 hours, though. I haven't played it for. You said you played like over 10 hours or 12, something like that.
13.
Whatever you were saying. So yeah, like if you want my advice, not that you need it, but if you want my advice, I'd say get the refund. Games that kind of run like that is almost like, and I hate to say it like this, just because I really do like the game, but I have to separate the art from the artist, and it's like unacceptable on their end to release a game in that state, or at least not kind of warn people ahead of time. Like if they were to say, "Oh," and I don't think anybody's ever really done this, but if they were to say so on the Xbox One and PS4, the base consoles anyway, because I think the Xbox One X version and the PS4 Pro one's different. If they were to say it's gonna kind of be a little iffy, the frame rate's going to be less, the graphical fidelity is obviously not going to be there. So just a warning that this is what we're going to be patching it. It's just not right away. Maybe that would have helped a little bit. Probably not. Like, what do you guys think? Would a warning like that have helped it even more, or do you think it would have maybe done more damage to it?
What do you think, Carly?
Mm, It probably would have helped, but I think it would have helped. Like a little, like, and they could have like reassured people, be like, yeah, we're gonna patch it. Like, just be patient. I'm sure that would have hurt their sales, and maybe that's why they didn't do it.
Yeah, but look at their
Um,
sales now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know,
well,
man.
yeah,
They've
well,
lost their this the like
probably should have. In
the
hindsight,
executives
they
have
probably
lost
really
like
wish they
their
did.
company value's gone down at like over $1 billion already. Like,
Yeah, the
it's
stock.
crazy, man. So like, for me, I think the best thing they could have done for this, because understanding, I don't blame the developers at all, because they've been crunching this game, which feels like forever, right? Like, I don't blame the devs. This is
Yeah, I
purely a
didn't say that.
management, a leadership decision to say put out the game and it's not ready on last
Mm,
gen. I think what would have been the best solution here, because because the game, for all intents and purposes, is working pretty good on PC, and it's, from my experience on the Series X, it's working pretty good. No major issues. I think they could have launched this game just on next gen consoles and just on PC, and would have been fine. And they could have said last gen versions coming in February.
Yeah, I think
That that
that'd probably be
that
the
that
case.
would have been the best solution in my opinion, because that way you're not pissing anyone off. Sure, people are being like, "What? We have to wait longer," but I mean, at least you can understand the reasoning. It's not there yet. It's working better on the better hardware. That's easy enough to understand. You know,
mhm.
You
I
think they
think
should have delayed it in general? Maybe
no,
another couple months, or
no,
do you
like,
think that was
well,
kind
I
of
mean,
too slow to go?
yeah, I mean, I shouldn't say no. I mean, I think they could have done that too, but given that they wanted the game to come out and that the game's working again pretty well on PC and pretty well on next gen, I think it's safe to say they could have, and they did put it out on those systems, and I don't think it's a big issue. But putting it out when on other systems when it's not ready yet, I don't think is the right call. They could have delayed everything, but I think they also could have just delayed the last gen versions, in my opinion, and that would have been okay.
Yeah,
That would have.
or maybe saying this kind of not controversial, but maybe kind of flipping it this way, maybe just not do that at all. I understand that still a lot of people that have base Xbox Ones or Xbox One X's or whatever you want to say, but maybe this should have been like a new generation and PC only. Because this
Yeah,
is the kind of game that sort of demands that kind of power. I mean, well, just based off my experience, right? Like the Xbox One version, the base Xbox One version compared to the PC version is like night and day. Like it's almost no comparison which one is like better in almost every way, or in every way pretty much. So I don't know. Now that I've played it on both, I guess, I mean, that's just my perspective. Because if I never played it on PC and I was still playing it on the base Xbox One, I might not even be playing it right now. I might just wait for all the patches to be put in, and at least maybe it'll run a little better, or the bugs will be less. Like if the frame rate was the same and all that, which whatever, I can deal with that. But I don't know. It's disappointing that it's kind of gotten to this, and like I don't know. I don't want to be too negative because I feel like our episode last week kind of summarized all my negativity towards like the game itself. But this is a whole other thing when the company's kind of under fire now. Like, do you remember when they were boasting about how they made all of their money on the pre-orders?
Yeah, they
Or,
made their
not all
money back.
but
Yeah.
yeah, but now how much of that money is gone because of refunds or now? Because I'm not really smart in this department, but so all the money that made off pre-orders, are they going to lose a substantial amount of that money because of people getting refunds, or is that money secure?
Oh yeah, they'll lose that money. Whoever
Okay.
asks for a refund, they're gonna lose it. But I mean, they're a publicly traded company. They're losing stocks. Their stock value is going down. They're not losing stocks, I should say. Their stock value is dropping. It's plummeting. That's the real concern here. The refunds are the refunds because people are gonna probably buy the game when it's ready anyways. But they're
Or maybe, like for me, I don't even know if I like want to get it again.
yeah, that's fair.
Just like it just leaves such like a sour taste.
Yeah,
So
which
maybe it might turn people completely off to it, and they might just be like, okay, I saw what it is. I'm just gonna wait for a different game or just save my money.
and for
Or
yeah, go ahead.
buy the Deus Ex series for $10 on GOG right now.
Those games aren't broken.
I'm just saying those games, if you ask me, except for the second one, those games are perfect examples of, no pun intended, but Cyberpunk games in general. Like every game could learn from those in terms of pretty much everything that Cyberpunk does. This is my perspective, of course, is just an opinion, but everything that Cyberpunk is trying to do, they don't do it better than the game they took the inspiration from. So if you're going to start with Deus Ex, not that anyone is, just buy all 4 for $10. But really, if you play Human Revolution, which I did earlier this year, and then play Cyberpunk or vice versa, Human Revolution, in my opinion, in almost every way, I will say I'm really into Cyberpunk's story, but in almost every way, Deus Ex kind of does this type of game better. So if you want my ringing endorsement, if you're kind of disheartened by Cyberpunk and you're looking for a game like it, you can't really go wrong with the Deus Ex games, specifically starting with the 2 more recent ones that came out because they technically take place before the first one that came out in 2000. So Human Revolution and Mankind Divided, those are 2 games. If you're looking for your fill in this department, because Cyberpunk, if you don't want to play it because of the way it is, those 2 games work perfect, and they're great games. I'm done.
That's just like your opinion, man.
Yeah, I know.
No, those games are also really highly rated, though. So I think it's a
yeah.
good call. The last thing I wanted to say about this whole Cyberpunk debacle was just kind of comparing it to recent games that have kind of done this, or recent companies that have kind of gone through this. Because I think the opinion of CD Projekt Red has gone from they're the god tier developers that made The Witcher 3 that can do no wrong to like these guys are shit. So, which is unfortunate because I actually think the game Cyberpunk is really, 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 really good, but it's just plagued with all these issues. So, either way, the opinion of the company has done a complete 180, like you said, Harley. And I think other companies that have gone through this recently, I can think of BioWare with Mass Effect Andromeda, and also with Anthem. They've put out 2 stinkers in a row, like 2 stinkers in a row. So
those were really hyped up games too.
Big hyped up games. And
Especially
remember,
Anthem.
BioWare, they made Dragon Age Origins, they made Inquisition, they made the entire Mass Effect series, which is like those are all god tier games. Like BioWare was easily one of the best developers, bar none, in the industry for a long time, and they've put out 2 stinkers, and now their opinion has changed. CD Projekt Red kind of in the same boat now. I would argue that what was the other one I had in mind? I would argue that Bethesda recently has also gone through a little bit of that with Fallout 76, where they could do no wrong. Skyrim, Fallout 4, Fallout 3, and then Fallout 76, and it's just like, ooh, because Fallout 76 did a ton of brand damage to them too. To the point where it's like, and I know it's not the same team that made Fallout 4 or even the Elder Scrolls, but people kind of associate those the same way, right? So the next Skyrim or the next Fallout game really needs to be a banger to pick this up. So I mean,
another one that comes to mind is Ubisoft when Assassin's Creed Unity came out, and also when Ghost Recon Breakpoint came out. Those games kind of came out in a not as desirable state. Nothing to the extent that Cyberpunk is, but those games, more so Assassin's Creed Unity, had a pretty iffy launch, especially
Yeah.
with technical issues and graphical issues. Especially the faces. The faces was the big thing.
Oh
I
yeah,
remember
that game
laughing
was
at when
big
that
time
game came
broken.
out.
That game was big time
That
broken.
game didn't waste any time being on sale for $10. I remember I walked into a Best Buy. This was when what game was out? I think this is when Syndicate was the newest Assassin's Creed, so the one after Unity, and Unity was out for not even a year, and it was on sale for $10.
Yeah.
That's quite a drop. And Breakpoint did the same thing. I owned Breakpoint only because it was $20, and I was like, I know, don't really need to buy it now, but I know I'm going to want to play it at some point in the future. So I got Wildlands and Breakpoint for like $35. But that was less than a year after Breakpoint came out too. So
Yep.
I mean, maybe I think Cyberpunk will be half off by the end of next year, or it'll have like at least some kind of permanent price drop just based on all this hubbub about how it launched
Oh
and
yeah,
everything.
there'll probably be a sale, something.
Yeah, I could see this game like a permanent price drop happening. I could see it going down to like $50. Just like, please come play our game once it's ready. I could see that happening. Crazy news though, man. Like, I don't think anyone kind of expected this.
Can't think of a time where a game just got delisted from an online store.
That's the crazy part.
I
PlayStation
think
full
of
out
one other
delisted it.
game was this wasn't because of like technical issues. It was I think it was called Hatred or Hated.
Oh yeah,
I know
yeah,
what you're
yeah.
talking about.
That was the one where there was like they
that was-
removed it because it was so
yeah.
vulgar and like kind of
It was so
offensive,
like
right?
violent.
Yeah.
It was violent and offensive. Like they didn't like you could do whatever you wanted in like really bad ways.
Yeah.
I remember that getting removed.
There was unspeakable acts
I
you could
can't
do
think
in
of
that
another
game.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Can't
crazy,
think of
man. And
another
it's such a big game too. Like Cyberpunk's arguably the biggest game of the year, right?
Yeah.
And
Probably.
so for PlayStation to just say no, this isn't cool and just delist it is, wow, like props to them. I don't think they actually needed to delist it, but I mean, it's a big move. They could have just put a warning, because now if you buy the version on Xbox, there's actually a little warning that pops up that says like, hey,
Really?
if you're playing on a base console, the experience is rough. It does warn you now. There's a little message, which is cool. But the whole delisting is crazy, man. But that's enough on the Cyberpunk, because I'm sure everyone watching and everyone listening is they've heard a bunch about it this week. So let's move on to some other pieces of news. Harley, let's hear what you got, man.
Oh, I was gonna talk about Cyberpunk.
You're gonna talk about Cyberpunk?
Yeah, we kind of talked it out.
Did we miss anything that you wanted to mention?
No, we
No?
pretty much covered most of it, if
Okay.
not all.
Cool. Jim, what about you? Any news?
I've got to say, my big news thing was Cyberpunk as well. But before we totally disregard Cyberpunk here, I sent both of you just now as we were on the show live a YouTube video of my favorite YouTuber, Civvy11, covering Hatred, actually, because it's on Steam again. It's been on Steam for a while now, because I think the video's a year or two old. But he gives his thoughts. He's a very funny YouTuber. I'm not friends or endorsed by him, but he's just very funny. Civvy11, CIVVIE11, great YouTuber. But he does talk about Hatred in his video called Sunshine and Kittens, because if he called it Hatred, he would have gotten demonetized. It's a funny video. It's like 20 minutes. But regardless, one little piece of news I noticed that means a lot to me. It has nothing to do with gaming. I feel like I had to bring it up, though. So the original actor who played Boba Fett in The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi died a day or two ago. So kind of similar to how, at least nowadays anyway, how David Prowse, who also passed away this year, who played Darth Vader, played him physically, and then James Earl Jones did the voice. The guy who physically played Boba Fett in the original Star Wars trilogy did pass away this week. Unfortunately, very sad.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I did notice that I'm just getting it up now, because today's been a crazy day. I'll explain the gameplay after I'm done my little blurb here and why it's awful. But the lead writer of Control and narrative lead for Dishonored: Death of the Outsider has moved over to spearhead Fable's writing team. So now we're getting like a good, a talented person working on of another Fable game, which is nice. So
There you go.
Her little thing, she said I'm reading it off GameSpot here. It says she briefly touched, I can't pronounce her name, Anna McGill. So she was the lead writer on Control and narrative lead on Dishonored: Death of the Outsider, as I mentioned, but now she's moving over to Playground Games to work on Fable. Says Fable holds a special place in my heart. It came out the year I started in game development. It's the first game I played with a developer's eye. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of cool when people that are a fan of something move over to help work on it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I really didn't have any news. Today's been a crazy day, but Cyberpunk was kind of taking up most of my attention just because I've been playing a lot of it. So
Yeah. Well, Cyberpunk was
I'm not gonna
absolutely
lie.
the big one this week.
I don't really have news this week.
Okay, cool.
I'm sorry.
All good. I will gloss over a few things here, and then we'll get into our main topic. So, Among Us is now out for Xbox Game Pass for PC. So if you don't own Among Us, but you have Game Pass, you can play on PC. And as well, it was confirmed it's going to come to consoles in 2021. So Xbox, if you have Xbox Game Pass, you'll have it on your Xbox One or your Xbox Series X or S next year at some point. So that's cool. I bet Among Us is going to be literally everywhere next year. It's going to come out on everything.
It's taken over, that's for sure.
It is taken over. Yeah, it's such an easy. You can run the game on a potato, right? So like, you can put it on literally everything, which is great.
You can put it on the base Xbox One and it'll be fine.
Exactly. Yeah. So, hopefully, we won't have the same issues as Cyberpunk. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Season 1 is out, so the new Warzone experience, Rebirth Island, is live. Admittedly, I've only played one game.
Yeah.
It was with randoms. Trios only. It's 45 players. I think we're going to play that tonight. Safe to say, boys. We're going to play some Rebirth Island. Looking forward to that. Don't have much to say about that. Harley, I know you've played a little bit of Season 1, so anything to talk about there?
Yeah. It's a lot like, what was it, Blackout?
Yeah.
Blackout had Alcatraz. It's basically the same map with some additions. It feels a little bit bigger.
Okay.
It's hectic. It's 40 people, 40 players per game. I like that the battle pass now, it's cross game, like it's cross like Cold War and like Warzone or Modern Warfare.
Really?
So, like all progress. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all synced up now.
Oh, I like that.
I
Maybe I'll actually buy the
love that.
Battle Pass this time.
And with the guns and everything, like your levels, everything is cross progression. It's nice.
I like that a lot. Wow.
We'll have more thoughts to say on, I'm sure, on the map next week when we play a bit more this weekend.
Mhm.
But aside from that, the Gears 5 Hivebusters campaign DLC came out, which has kind of flown under the radar for a bit, but they kind of like stealth announced campaign DLC for Gears 5 last month, and here it is. It came out. It's getting pretty good scores across the board. It's sitting at an 80 right now in Metacritic. So most reviews are at 8s and 9s with a couple 7.5s in there. A lot of people are saying it's like a really good, fun, engaging piece of DLC. It takes about 3 hours to beat. The characters are different, so you're not following like JD and Dell and Kate. You're kind of following these Hivebusters characters. And apparently the characters are like really, really well written. So apparently it's better than it has any right to be. And from a visual perspective, if you've played Gears 5, you know how good it looks, and this game kind of follows suit. Apparently, it looks really, really good visually. Like people are saying it's the best looking thing on next gen consoles right now, which is kind of nuts. And I think I would agree with that because like playing Gears 5 on the Series X is mind blowing. It's ridiculous. So if this is anything like that, which it sounds like it is, it's pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to checking that out at some point. 3 hours to beat is not bad. I can get through that in an afternoon or an evening, so that'll be fun. And EA bought Codemasters this week for $1.2 billion. And for people who don't know who Codemasters are, they are responsible for mostly racing games at this point. So they're responsible for the Dirt series, the F1 series, Grid, etc. But boys, they also did Operation Flashpoint. They own Operation Flashpoint.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Do you think that means we can actually play Red River soon?
Maybe. EA might go through and like relicense a bunch of these games. We'll see. But
What a weird mix.
Yeah, so like back in the
Operation
day,
Flashpoint,
yeah.
2 games, and then racing.
Yeah, so before that, they also did the Overlord series. Do you guys remember those games?
Never played them,
Oh, I
but I know
kind of
about them. Yeah.
Yeah, I
know
didn't really
about
play
them.
them either, but like I always remember them. There was a couple of them, but they did Overlord, they did Flashpoint, they did a couple racing games back in the day, and then they've been like just straight racing games. But yeah, that's I mean 1.2 billion dollars is a lot of money, right? So EA purchased them up, so maybe we'll get some new Operation Flashpoints games in the future. We'll see. Um, Big purchase though. And that's kind of it this week for news. It was basically all Cyberpunk. That was this week's news. Everywhere you looked, it was talking about Cyberpunk. But a couple fun nuggets in there to talk about. So let's move
It's a
on
hot
to our.
topic.
It's a hot topic, a big hot topic. Speaking of hot topic,
Hmm.
let's talk about our main topic, which is the most anticipated games of 2021. So I'm gonna let you guys kind of take the wheel on this and kind of list out your games and why, and we'll just make this a conversation. Let's just chat, right? So. Just chatting. Harley, tell us one of your most anticipated games for next year.
One of mine be Back for Blood.
Had that on
Turtle
my
Rock.
list. Yep.
Yep. June 22nd. The unofficial Left 4 Dead game.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, had some alpha gameplay this week. It looks nice. It looks fun. It looks different enough from Left 4 Dead where they have made I don't know, some like advancements, I guess, or new features. I know Left 4 Dead it was good, but it was like really casual, which is awesome. And
Yep.
that's probably what they went for. I feel like this game is gonna add more of a randomness and a bit more of in depth. They have a new like a card system where every game you pick cards from a deck. They all have like different little effects on them, like almost like little perks. One it might be like pistol damage increase, or you spawn with a med kit or something like that. And so it's gonna feel like every time you play the game, it's gonna be different. So I'm just looking forward to that.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. Jim, have you
Some
seen
good
anything
alt.
about Back for Blood?
Yeah.
I haven't viewed the alpha gameplay, but from everything I've read on it, I mean, I really liked the Left 4 Dead games quite a bit. Those are just such, and this is a bad comparison, but I kind of compare how easy it is to kind of pick up and play Left 4 Dead with friends, kind of like Among Us. Like Among Us and Left 4 Dead, I kind of get the same feeling if I think about it. Like I could easily pick up a controller and play Left 4 Dead right now and have a fun time. Like it's just it's such an easy game to get into, such
Yeah.
an easy game to have like fun with a group of friends, or even you know what, even random people if you get like a good group of people. Like it's one of those kinds of games that I enjoy quite a bit. And even though I haven't seen any gameplay, I mean, if it's a spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead, I can kind of get an idea of what kind of game it is. So I am excited to play it. I might view some of the gameplay tonight or tomorrow, but yeah, it's on my list of games I'm anticipating. Anyway,
Yeah. It's on all of our lists. I think we're all gonna have a lot of fun playing it. One of the few games we actually know the release date for. Like we other ones we know like
Mm,
maybe a month or a window, but that one we actually have a date.
yeah.
So hopefully it doesn't move. Hopefully it comes out when it's supposed to come out. Jim, what about you?
so a big one for me. I've been a fan of this series for quite a while, and I was bummed when it was delayed, but I'm not really complaining because you know it's delayed for a good reason because of everything that's going on, and I'd rather be polished than not. But Far Cry 6 is near the top of my list for anticipated games. I quite liked Far Cry 5 from what I played, and from what I know about Far Cry 6, I mean the main villain being oh, I can't even pronounce his name, but he's from Breaking Bad. He's more recently in The Mandalorian. The guy who plays Gus in Breaking Bad, I can't pronounce his actual name, but um, I think he'll be an interesting villain. It's cool when games get kind of big name people, like you know, unfortunate what happened with Kevin Spacey, but it was really cool when Call of Duty got him for like the eventually turned out to be the villain in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. And I think that getting bigger name people to play villains is kind of a cool move. But regardless, from
Or
the
yeah.
screenshots I've seen and all that, I think Far Cry 6 looks really nice. I think it looks like it's
There's
gonna be a lot of
characters in
fun.
general,
Like Vin Diesel.
Keanu, yeah, Vin Diesel, Keanu Reeves.
Yeah,
It's
Keanu
always
Reeves in
nice when
Cyberpunk is cool
you
too.
see yeah.
So Far Cry 6, there's no like, it's just kind of like a rumored release date for May 25th. That's what it's listed on in the Microsoft Store, but the actual release window is kind of from April next year till March next year or the year after. Forgive me. So April 2021 to March 2022. So hopefully it comes out in May. Because I think by then, my most anticipated game I'll save till the end. But there's another game that's rumored to come out around then that I am absolutely dying to play. But yeah. What about you, Tony? What's another game on your list that you're anticipating?
One for me, because I think I know the game you're going to mention, is Flight Sim for the Series X.
Oh, that's the one I was going to mention. There you go.
Oh yeah, so that yeah,
No, it wasn't.
yeah. So Flight Sim for the Series X is I'm definitely really looking forward to that. They showed like a really quick gameplay thing at the Game Awards for it, and it's coming out in the summer. And it looked beautiful. It was in-game footage on the Series X, and it looked amazing. Really looking forward to booting up Flight Sim and just kind of like flying around. Like, let's go visit Egypt. Let's go visit like Australia. Like, I don't know. That seems like such a cool game to just be like load up and like let's go somewhere and look at it. And it's like real life. It's it's kind of a mind blowing game. The tech in it is unreal. So I can't wait to play that. Harley, back to you, man. What's one that you got?
This is what I thought you were about to say, and that was the Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Oh, that was on my list too.
Spring 2021.
Yep.
It's on my list.
Yep.
Oh.
It'll be good.
So it's gonna include all single player content and DLC from Mass Effect 2, and Mass Effect 3. It's gonna be 4K, forward compatibility, and it's gonna have targeted enhancements on the Series X and PlayStation 5.
Yeah, well, legendary series, and like we talked about earlier in the show with BioWare, Mass Effect 1 through 3 are it might be one of the best trilogies in gaming, period. You could rival that with Halo 1 through 3 and like Metal Gear 1 through 3 and like all these other big series. It's up there. If not at the top, it's near the top. So really looking forward to that. And maybe, just maybe, it'll connect with the new Mass Effect game. Because you guys remember how there was the save transfer things, right? With Mass Effect, where you brought your save into the newest game.
Yeah.
When all your decisions and choices came out. So I was kind of doing some digging on the new Mass Effect game that they revealed at the end of the Game Awards, the big teaser. And people seem to think that is... what's her name? Is it Liara?
The Asari?
Yeah, the Asari. Yeah, it's Liara, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yes,
people seem to think that that's her. And that the trailer shows like a destroyed what are they called? It's the big like things where you like used to move really fast. Like the that's a really, really bad description. I haven't played Mass Effect in a while.
I've only played the first one. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so there's the things that you go through, like the Mass Effect relays. That's what they're called, the Mass Effect relays.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Yeah. Where you use those to travel, from planet to planet and from system to system in Mass Effect.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the destroy ending in Mass Effect 3, oh Jim, I don't really want to spoil this for you, but at the same time, like the game's been out for so long.
I know how the whole trilogy like ends, so you're not really like spoiling too much.
Yeah, and I guess spoiler alert, but not really. The game's been out for a while, so at the end of the destroy ending, Shepard destroys the Reapers and also destroys all the Mass Effect relays. That's the end of the destroy ending. So because there's 3 different endings in that game, and that in that trailer, after you beat the game, they flash a scene at you, and it's Shepard kind of in the snow, and he gasps for a breath of air, so he's still alive at the end of the destroy ending. And then in the new trailer for the new Mass Effect game, it shows Liard and it shows the broken Mass Effect relays. and it kind of shows her picking up like the N7 like piece of armor. So to me, that signals, okay, this is taking place after Mass Effect 3. It's a direct sequel. Maybe it's Liara looking for Shepard. Clearly, the Mass Effect relays are broken, so that's what connects it to the destroy ending, right? That's the canon timeline with it. So I don't know if maybe they'll connect the saves with the Legendary Collection and the new game that eventually comes out. I think that could be interesting. I also think that maybe that'd be difficult, especially if the beginning of the game needs to be the same for everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's my tinfoil hat theory for the week. Interesting, either way.
Thanks.
I
Hey,
dig
GM. What's your next game?
Who, me
that.
or
My
Jim?
next game.
Jim.
Wait, you're saying Tony or Jim? Oh, okay.
Go, Jim.
I gotta say, so this one it's just listed as Holiday 2021, but we don't really know anything about it. We're not gonna know details until next year. But I am excited for the new Battlefield game. You know what? I feel like I've always been a fan of these games. Like I've always said, at least until Black Ops Cold War came out, and maybe to a certain extent Modern Warfare, I've always liked the Call of Duty games, the way the game modes are and the maps better. But I've always liked the feel of the Battlefield games, the movement, the shooting. I've always liked them better. Cold War kind of is closer to Battlefield than any of the other CODs, if you ask me. But we're getting another Battlefield game next year. They pulled support from Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Battlefield 5, and I guess they're focusing all their efforts into developing a next-gen Battlefield. And developer DICE said they will, quote, deliver a true next-gen vision for the franchise with never-before-seen scale. And Battlefield's known for its large-scale battles, which is probably why I gravitate so much towards Battlefront 2, because, well, I mean, in general, they kind of like... and ever since the original ones came out, they've always been similar to Battlefield. But regardless, like I said, we don't know anything about it. There's not really much to say about it per se, but that is one that that I am looking forward to playing. But you guys looking forward to that at all? You guys really care? I don't think you guys played 5 really too much with me, right?
I didn't play 5 much.
Yeah, we didn't play 5 much. But I actually
played the Battle Royale a little bit.
Yeah, a tiny bit.
A lot though.
Yeah, it wasn't the best battle royale, but
no, kind of poor if you ask me. But
yeah, I actually had Battlefield on my list too, though, because interestingly enough, like the last Battlefield game was Battlefield 5, and that was back in 2018. So this game's actually been in the oven for a long time, so to speak. So I'm excited to see what it looks like, what it comes out like. You know, never before seen scale. What does that mean? Like, I don't know. It's interesting for sure. I'm intrigued, and so we'll see what happens.
Maybe like 100 on 100 in like a city-sized map.
That'd be really cool.
City size would be too big, but like
instead of a battle royale, just 100v100, he can defend the city, kind of thing.
That'd be sick.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be really cool.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
That'd be a selling point to me.
There you go, EA. If you're listening, which you are, of course you are.
Of course. How could you not be listening to Follow My Tracers Friday night?
You'll have 3 sales. You know, you'll make your 180 bucks. No, 90.
270.
270 bucks. There you go. That covers your marketing right there. There you go.
Well, oof. Okay, so one I had on my list that I think you guys may or may not have is Resident Evil 8.
I do.
Oh, Resident Evil Village?
Yeah, Village. The trailer for that game looked really freaking cool. It's kind of like Resident Evil, but it's like kind of vampires and stuff. Like, it's like it almost like gothic, kind of like Castlevania kind of stuff, like in terms of like the feel of it. But it's still obviously it's Resident Evil. That game looks really cool. I think that'll be a big one next year. Hopefully it doesn't get delayed out of it. Jim, I know you're a big fan of the Resident Evil series. Anything to say on that?
I will say Resident Evil 7, if anybody hasn't played it yet, it is on Game Pass. If you have it, please install it and play it. It is, if you ask me, not only the best Resident Evil game, but one of the best horror games to come out in quite a while. At least that feels like a true horror game. There's not a whole lot of jump scares. There are jump scares like in every game, but just the way they kind of nailed down, inventory management, and definitely the atmosphere, visually too. It's phenomenal. Like it still looks great to this day,
Oh yeah,
even though it came out what 4 years ago now,
must have
three
been
4 years
3 or 4
ago.
years. Yeah.
Yeah, I still lived at home, so at least 3 years anyway. But yeah, just from everything I've seen of Village, I think it is tied into seven somehow. I can't remember how closely tied it is, but it is a sequel to seven, so I'm no doubt gonna buy it. I bet it'll probably be a day one purchase for me, to be honest. I'll probably even pre-order it, to be totally blunt. So
Well, if we learned anything from Cyberpunk, maybe we shouldn't be pre-ordering games anymore. But that's a different conversation.
yeah, that's true.
Especially
Well, I
with
got my
especially
refund,
with
so I guess
games
I
in
can't
the
complain.
digital age where, there's no risk. You can
Mhm.
just buy it digitally whenever. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's true. Unless there's some like cool bonus, like if there's like a Resident Evil, like if I have a Series X, let's say by then, and it's like, oh, here's Resident Evil 7 remastered with like next gen visuals and performance. Even though the game runs super smooth on the Xbox One, and all the DLCs included, and this and that. Maybe it comes with other stuff too, other goodies. I don't really care about cosmetics. That stuff's kind of indifferent for me. But yeah, if it comes with cool bonuses like that, maybe I'll pre-order it. But yeah, my mind totally just flipped. We mentioned Cyberpunk, but yeah, that'll definitely be a purchase for me.
There you go. I think I'm saving the big one for last for me, which you guys easily know what that is. But any other games you guys want to mention?
Yep. I have Gotham Knights.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
baby.
yeah.
It's third-person brawler. Batman is dead. And you play
Batman
as
is dead.
either Nightwing, Batgirl, Red Hood, or just Robin. It even I think has a two-player co-op. It's pretty cool.
Yes, it does.
The Arkham series is fantastic. So the fact that it's co-op in this new game is really freaking cool.
I love the Arkham series, so I'll be definitely looking out for this.
Jim, what about you?
So I just have a couple quick ones I want to mention before I get to my big one. Your big one, I think, is kind of you speak for all of us when you say it, but I just want to get to a couple that I'm not necessarily sure if you guys it's on your radar or if
Yeah,
you
I
even
got
thought
two
of it at
more.
all.
Okay, yeah.
So
Got two more.
like I said, I'll blow through mine because I don't really have a lot to say about
Yep.
one of them. So, one I am interested in. It's similar to the Metro series, but I think it came before Metro. I own a series of games on PC that kind of do like a post-apocalyptic kind of open world thing. So Stalker 2
Oh,
is
yep.
confirmed for next year. So, it's returning next year. There's no definitive release date, but it is coming out next year. And I played the first Stalker game. I think it's called Shadow of Chernobyl. It's very fun. I think it gets worse as the other two games get released, or maybe the third one's good. I don't know if the second one's good, but I own all of them regardless. On GOG, which I love GOG by the way. But Stalker 2 is one I'm very interested in. Rainbow Six Quarantine sounds pretty interesting.
Yep.
It's again, this is another one where it's listed as 2021, but the release window kind of
Yeah.
goes from spring to next spring.
Yeah.
But it's a three-player survival, a three-player tactical co-op game that pits your squad against a deadly parasite. It's built on the foundation of Rainbow Six Siege. This is all according to IGN. It's currently scheduled between April 2021 and March 2022, but we should hopefully get a more definitive release date early next year. But I'm always up for. I mean, I wasn't too crazy about Rainbow Six Siege. I think that's a game where I got kind of discouraged from trying to play it because it is online only for the most part. There are like single player training scenarios, but I don't really want to count those. But I kind of got discouraged from playing it just because that player base is crazy, like hardcore. And I always felt like when we were playing a game with random people or I was playing it on my own, nobody has the patience to deal with new players anymore. So I think I'm totally long gone for trying to do that. But those are my like two quick mentions, and my big one that was supposed to come out this past October, but it's been even before COVID. They were kind of shady with when the release date was actually going to be because it keeps changing with every trailer that comes out. But my most anticipated game for next year is Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, and I'm excluding Tony's big one because that's kind of like top of the heap, but this one for me extends even higher. So Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga was originally supposed to come out. At least the last release date we got was October 2020, but now it's spring next year.
Yep.
The really important thing to know about this one, though, so it's not just the first Lego Star Wars game, which covered the prequels, and the second one, which covered the original sequel, and Lego The Force Awakens put together. They're entirely remaking every Lego game. So if you played the original Lego Star Wars, you're not going to be playing the same game once the Skywalker Saga comes out. And I think it's pretty significant because we never got a Lego Last Jedi game when the Last Jedi came out, which was 3 years ago now. So it would be awesome to have, a really big experience. And, just graphically speaking, it looks really impressive visually. It looks really nice. Like, I thought Lego Force Awakens looked really nice, but the Skywalker Saga looks beautiful, and it's a Lego game. And that's, for me to say a game like that looks beautiful is pretty cool. I don't know. And Star Wars is like my favorite thing ever, I guess, if you could say that. I've just been waiting for this game to come out forever, and now that the release date keeps getting moved, I hope that spring 2021 sticks because I also kind of have a special thing for the Lego games because me and my fiance, which Renee, you guys know her obviously, we played through all these games together, and we played through like the entire Lego Star Wars Complete Saga when that came out, which is the first 6 movies. And we started playing Force Awakens, but we didn't get all the way through it. But just in general, we've beaten a lot of the Lego games together, so it'll be really nice to like sit down and play through this whole thing, couch co-op, which is another thing I miss, but that's a topic for another episode. But that is my most anticipated game for next year. If not counting what Tony's going to say for sure, but for me personally, that's my most anticipated one.
Nice, man.
Oh,
And then just to say, Supperfish back in the chat saying Hour of Victory 2 Hitler's Final Hour confirmed January 2021. Really excited.
Is that a troll or
no,
is that?
It's not. Is it?
Is that a troll?
Is it?
Is that a game?
The Hour of Victory.
So we need to look this up on the spot. Everyone, hold on.
Of
Hold on to your rockers.
Victory
You're such a
2.
liar, Kevin. Stop it.
Oh,
Don't get me excited.
I was gonna say we could have played through that game together.
imagine. Hour of Victory.
Man, the European cover
See,
for that game on the 360 looks so much cooler than the one we got.
I feel like that could be a real game name. Could you put Hitler in a game name? Is that something you could do? I don't know if you could do that. You can have Hitler in a
I don't
game, obviously,
know.
but I don't know if you can.
They haven't done it with Wolfenstein yet, so I mean,
Yeah.
I guess
I
anything's
don't know if
possible.
we can.
If they can do it, I mean, anybody can do it. So
I guess so. Huh?
I don't know.
That's a good question. Can you
They
put
have
Hitler
Mecha
in the name
Hitler
of
as
a game?
villain in the original one.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can have Hitler as a character, especially if it's like based on a real story. But can you have Hitler in the name of a game?
Well, you can't in Germany. They'll probably get insta banned.
That's what I'm saying. So maybe for that reason,
I think
I don't know.
is Wolfenstein banned in Germany?
Huh.
It's gotta be.
I know there's a bunch of games banned in Australia for some reason.
Oh, okay. So listen to this. This is okay. So just to kind of change subjects for a second. So I searched, is Wolfenstein banned in Germany? Wolfenstein, for those who don't know, very famous for focusing on Nazis in World War II. Your BJ Blazkowicz, American badass. But so when I searched, is Wolfenstein banned in Germany? This is what it says. It says Germany bans symbols belonging to unconstitutional groups, which cause problems in games where the Nazis are a frequent adversary. In games like the Wolfenstein series, German editions would change Hitler's name, remove his mustache, and replace swastikas with another shape.
Huh. Okay.
So they don't
Interesting.
ban it, but it's, I guess you could say it's heavily censored, but it's not. That surprises me. It's not banned. Wow.
So they just kind of
All
work
the
around
games
it.
do not have banned. Wow.
That's crazy. That's
They are
wild,
good
man.
games though.
Yeah, sure.
I will say
Silverfish
that. Maybe that's-
confirms. No, that's not real. It'd be funny though.
Yeah.
Would use the same engine.
From this original Hour of Victory. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Dear God.
Man, I love all those old World War II games, like Medal of Honor, Allied Assaults, and
Yeah.
those.
Medal of Honor came to mind.
Yeah, that's a classic, man. I love playing those games.
That new Medal of Honor VR game's not very good apparently, but
Well, it's
regardless,
VR. What
it
do you
was great
expect,
from the
man?
start.
It's hard to make a good VR game. But
I had one more game.
Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick.
Go.
So we saw it on the Game Awards. Warhammer 40K Dark Tide.
Yeah.
4-player co-op shooter set in a hive city. Yeah.
Is that game first
Kinda
person
like
or
Left
third
4
person?
Dead.
I forget.
First person.
Ah, nice.
Person.
Good.
Yeah, it's gonna look sweet. But apparently it's only coming out on next gen and PC, so I'm gonna have to get it for PC. I'm just gonna have to try and run it. That's
Well,
the game I really want to play.
yeah, and
Wait, so
hopefully,
when's that
hopefully
come
it's
out?
like crossplay too, so like
I
PC
don't
and
know when it
Xbox
comes.
can play
It's
together.
Just 2021.
You might have a Series X by then, though, Harley. You never know.
I don't know.
Are you planning
No.
on getting one? Is a different question.
I'd like to get one, but we'll see.
Yeah,
Things go.
it is still quite expensive.
It's expensive and hard to find.
Yes, very hard to find.
I heard there was
There
a
you go.
restock in like GameStop and Walmart and all that, but who knows how long that stuff lasts? That
Tho-
might like
they
instantly
do
be bought
restocks like every now and then randomly, and then they're gone in like 2 minutes. So
up. Yeah.
it's kind of tough to PS5 or Series X. It's hard to get any of them right now, and that's just a supply issue.
Yep.
All right, so obviously
That's all I had.
the big one I'm going to mention obviously is Halo Infinite. But before we get to that, I'm going to talk about a few other games.
Spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler alert. I can't believe they're excited for Halo Infinite when they talk about Halo Infinite for 60 minutes
man.
every podcast.
Every other podcast. They had a whole episode on
yeah.
Infinite.
Wow, I can't believe they're excited
How
for
did
it.
they not mention that?
So games that we don't know about, but I think still have a shot of coming out next year. It's Forza Horizon 5. So the usually the typical Forza Horizon games take 2 to 3 years to make. It's been on a 2-year dev cycle for a while. The last Forza Horizon game to come out was 2019, I want to say, or 2018, I forget. It was Horizon 4, which is in Britain, and Horizon 5 is rumored to be set in Japan, which is really, really cool. I can kind of see, driving through like the fields of like the pink flowers and shit. Like, oh, I can see those games looking amazing. The Horizon series have always been really, really fun, and I love playing them. So I hope that that's the case. Obviously made by Playground, and Playground is working on Fable, but they do have 2 separate teams. So the team that's making the racing games is different than the team making Fable, obviously. So I think we can expect a Horizon game next year. I think that's not, I don't want to say safe, but it's a solid bet. And Starfield is the other one where I think maybe Starfield could come out next year. From Bethesda, which obviously Microsoft just purchased. I think it might be an Xbox exclusive. We'll see. We're kind of still unsure if there are prior deals made where it still needs to come out on PlayStation or what's going on there. But Starfield, we don't really know anything about other than it's made by the team that has made the Elder Scrolls and the Fallout series, and Todd Howard's behind it, and it's a brand new thing. They've been working on it for a while, and hopefully it's really, really cool. But we don't really know anything about it. But Bethesda also has a history of showing a game and then releasing it like 5 months later, like they did with Fallout 4. So they could easily show that thing at E3 next year if E3 is going to happen or whatever, and get that out in the fall, and it wouldn't really matter. Aside from that, PlayStation has a big year coming up. So they have Ratchet and Clank coming out, Gran Turismo, Horizon Forbidden West, which is the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn, and God of War Ragnarok, which is the sequel to the God of War 2018 game, which won Game of the Year when it came out. So PlayStation has a big year for exclusives coming out, and I think Xbox is going to have a good year too. We don't know a ton about what's coming out for Xbox in 2021, aside from a couple games we've already mentioned, and of course, Halo Infinite. So let's get to Halo Infinite. That's the big one for me, obviously. I think that's probably the big one for all of us, I would say, where this game has the most potential to be the game that we play every weekend, right? This is the game that we could be
Every other day, pretty much.
Yeah, like this could be this could go into the rotation of regular games that we play for a very long time. As we talked about in the episode where they kind of had the big blog post, the Infinite update, it's fall 2021, but the safe release date is probably November 15th because that is the 20th anniversary of Combat Evolved. So probably November 15th, Halo Infinite. Super freaking excited, man. I despite all the leadership changes and the first showing and everything, I'm still very, very hopeful for this game. What about you guys?
Yeah, you know what? Now that we had that big update for Halo, I think I'm not that I wasn't excited before, but I think I'm a lot more excited now. Just as, now that we got a really good look at, just what exactly is going to be in the game. Not everything, but like from what we got, I'm really excited now. I think more than ever about Halo. Again, my big thing with Halo Infinite, now that I've seen some more of it, is it seems like they're kind of going for an old is new type of thing. So kind of taking inspiration from like you were saying, because it's going to be a big anniversary for Halo coming up.
Yep.
Um, I'm just excited the fact that it seems like they've learned their lesson from Halo 5. Maybe to a certain extent you can argue maybe they've learned from Halo 4 in ways too. But I think the fact that they can look back and recognize maybe their errors is a wrong word, but their kind of misdirection, let's say. And now it kind of seems like they're course correcting to, well, this is technically supposed to be a soft reboot of the series, kind of, right? So
yeah, it's a continuation. It's a continuation of Halo 5, but yeah, in all words, it's a soft reboot. That's why it's not called Halo 6. But go on.
That's why I'm excited, is because again, it's almost like they're starting over, without starting over. So
yeah,
hopefully it's really good. I mean, let's face it, it's probably gonna be great, but I don't want to know any more about the story. I kind of want to go in blind at this point. I don't want to know too much more, because I find that in my experience with Halo 5, kind of going in with all the marketing and like really following it close, it got me really excited, but to a fault. So
sure.
I think with this one, I'm gonna play it safe when it comes to updates about the campaign. When it comes to the multiplayer, I'll read every update about it that comes out, because my multiplayer is gonna be free to play. It's gonna be probably our thing for a while, but campaign wise, I'm gonna leave it a mystery, because that's one of the things I kind of listed in that episode that we did for our hopes, was I want there to be a mystery in some sense, and it seems like there's probably gonna be. So yeah, I would say I'm pretty excited. What about you, Harley?
Yeah, I'm probably the opposite. I want more details.
Yeah, me too.
I want to know more.
I have an insatiable
Especially
thirst for Halo.
Around the open world, like, of the campaign. Yeah, maybe not like, to your point, maybe not so much like story, like more like maybe gameplay and mechanics. So some of the things, like we said in the
I'm cool with that stuff. I just don't want to know anything about this. Well, it also helps. I don't really, because I haven't played Halo Wars 2. I don't really know much about the Banished and that side of things. So maybe it's a good thing I haven't played it yet. Where I'll play it closer to when it comes out. I will. Like, it's the only Halo game I haven't beaten at this point. So it's next on my list. So once we finish Halo 5, I think I'm gonna jump into Halo Wars 2. Maybe not necessarily because the story depends on me knowing Halo 5, but just the fact that I'm just going chronologically really at this point.
Yep. Yeah, Infinite's the big one. Certainly one of the biggest games of next year that we know about. And I think it has the potential to be the biggest game next year across any platform if it really hits. Like, imagine if Infinite comes out and it's like Halo 3 again. Like, that would be, like, it would instantly become the biggest game. So
that would hit me pretty hard in a good way.
Yeah, like I think, I don't know if it'll ever recapture that same magic, because Halo 3 kind of came out in a special time, and there's a lot of other bigger games nowadays. But I mean, I think that they could have some magic in a bottle here. I hope they do, and I hope that this thing is I hope it's as good as I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be really, really good.
Pufferfish is bringing up, I believe that's Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah,
is that confirmed for next year?
It's not confirmed for anything. That's the issue. Otherwise, I totally agree, man. Breath of the Wild 2 is on my list, but we have no idea when that game's coming out. Same with Metroid Prime 4. They announced Metroid Prime 4 when the Switch, before the Switch even came out, or like, was it before it even came out? It might have been like like a few months after it came out, but we haven't seen
Yeah.
anything about Metroid Prime 4 yet.
The problem with that though too is, do you remember they were a good chunk into development, if not more than halfway or something, but then they totally restarted it.
Yeah,
So
they did.
whatever
They changed
progress they
studios
had,
and they did everything up from the ground up, but it's still been a long
but I think
time.
it was a good change. It's a good change because they went back to, if I remember, the original developers for Metroid Prime,
Yes.
the original trilogy. So
Yes.
that's a good move on their part. So I don't mind that. I think I have to play through the third Metroid Prime from what I remember, but I would gladly replay those games again if they came out for the Switch. I'm surprised it hasn't come out digitally or something for it yet.
I feel like it's yeah, I feel like Nintendo's going to go on a big binge right now and just like re-release a bunch of old collections like Metroid Prime and Zelda. Like I think they're going to go through it all and just start to cash in on the Switch now, cuz now they have, you know, probably at this point after the holidays they're going to have 70 or 80 million people, maybe 70 million's a better number, people who own a Switch, maybe more. And then you can just be like, hey, look, get this Zelda collection. Hey, look, get this Metroid Prime collection. And you're getting tens of millions in sales from that now. So I feel like Nintendo's about to cash in with that, which is great because I want to play those games again. In terms of Breath of the Wild 2, like, yeah, like I would love if that game came out next year. We haven't heard anything about that game since they originally announced it. And that game was actually, yeah, it was a few years ago. It might have been 2 E3s ago. But that game was supposed to be DLC, if you guys remember. It was supposed to be just DLC for Breath of the Wild, but it ended up becoming so big, it became its own thing. So now it's its own game.
Oh, I didn't know that. So
yeah. Very, very cool. And yeah, and Supperfish.
Yeah, Supper brings up a point. Straight up said it's not good. We're gonna make it better.
Yeah, which I respect, man. Don't put out the game if it's bad. Like, especially in like a storied franchise like that. Well, okay, here's the thing with Cyberpunk, right? Is that the game is actually good in my opinion. It just sucks that there's all these technical issues.
Yeah,
it's just
I totally
not
agree.
optimized.
Yeah, like I think the game's good. It's just, yeah, it's got this other thing going on that's unfortunately in the way. But Nintendo does respect their franchises and they tend to not put out crap. Like even if Nintendo has a miss, like even the Paper Mario games in recent years that haven't been great, they're still good. And like name a bad Zelda game, you kind of can't. Like they're all, you know what I mean? Like mainline Zelda games. I'm sure there's been a spin-off here or there that's been like, but like they're all good in their own way. Like people might say like, oh, Skyward Sword, or people might say not Breath of the Wild. They might say Twilight Princess, but like even those games have their merits, man. Like those games are still excellent games. So yeah, Nintendo respects their franchises that way, which I think it's a good thing. Sometimes it takes a while for the games to come out, but when they come out, they're usually pretty freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Halo Infinite's the big one, and we just listed a bunch of other games that we're really excited for in 2021. I think 2021 is going to be a really good year for gaming. Again, next-gen consoles, I think, are finally going to start to like really get their feet under them and start going. This year was pretty bad for games because there were so many delays, which I think means next year a lot of games are going to come out, right? Because a lot of games that were supposed to come out this year are going to come out next year, and then there's the games that were supposed to come out next year in the first place that might still come out next year. So I think it's going to be pretty packed, which is good news for all of us gamers here.
Bad news for the wallet, though. Jeez.
Oh, big time. Unless you have Game Pass.
Game Pass. Well, not all of them, though.
This podcast,
depending how many come.
Yeah, this podcast is now sponsored by Game Pass.
I can think of.
But anyways, so for the chat, what is your most anticipated game this year? So if you guys want to leave a comment on the video for next week, we will answer. It could be for any platform: PC, Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, mobile. We don't care. Whatever your most anticipated game is, let us know.
Hold on.
Yep.
For mobile, Diablo Immortals has an open beta, but just in Australia.
Oh, weird.
So that it's gonna be free to play. So
I forgot about that game.
If you guys remember, people thought they were gonna announce Diablo 4, and then they announced a mobile game. It got booed. But
right, and then they said, like, don't you people have phones or something like that, like on stage, and everyone's like, it's just like, oof. But Diablo 4 is coming out. That's a game that's announced and it's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let us know in the comments below what your most anticipated game is, and we will answer you guys on the next episode. And so you guys know, kind of getting into the outro of the show here, we are going to take next week off because next Friday is in fact Christmas Day. So next Friday there will not be an episode, and the Friday after that, guys, is actually New Year's Day. So we'll have to figure that out if we want to do it on a different day, or if we want to move it, or what's going on. But the next 2 Fridays are kind of special days. So just for sure, next week there will not be an episode, but we will be back in the new year either way. But Harley, take us home, man.
Oh yeah, so if you want to stay up to date with Follow My Tracers, subscribe to us right here on YouTube, like the video, click that bell if you want to be notified when we go live. You can also follow us on Twitter at FMT Show and on Facebook at Follow My Tracers. So guys, do you want to plug anything? Where can they find you?
So I'll plug my stuff real quick. So I am Figure9, as you can see on the screen here. Figure9 on Twitch, twitch.tv/Figure9, and Figure9 TV on Twitter. And I'm going to be doing a bunch of streaming over these next few weeks. So if you guys want to hang out with me on stream, I'm going to probably be playing a bunch of World of Warcraft. So they're pretty chill streams. I like to interact with chat, play some music. Yeah, man, Harley, I think I'm sinking in, man. It's happening.
Get Shadowlands?
I think it's happening. It's dangerous.
It's happening. It's sinking in.
Yeah, it's bad, man.
It's gonna take hold.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're gonna do it, I think I'll be there with you.
There you go.
Yeah, but either way, that's where you guys can follow me. Jim, what about you?
If you want to follow me on Xbox, just search Power Grudge. I'm on Xbox there. I'm on GOG Galaxy at Power Grudge. If you guys want to follow me there, I'm on Steam as Mudahen. Want to have me as a friend there. I'm not making music yet, but I will say, I have been. I'm gonna plug something else that's not related to us because we're not sponsored by anybody. But I will say, one of my favorite bands ever, Dream Theater, just released. No, how long ago was it now? Maybe a few weeks ago. They just released a new live CD, Blu-ray, DVD, whatever your forte is, pack of their last tour, which they performed all of Scenes from Memory in its entirety, plus a first set comprising mostly of stuff from their newest album, Distance Over Time, which came out a couple years ago now. It's fantastic, and watching that and listening to a lot of Dream Theater these past week or two has kind of got me more seriously thinking about making music. And I already had a song in the pipe, just demoed, of course, but I had a song pretty well fully done. No vocals or anything, but I'm getting a little more serious about maybe making music, so I will keep you updated if I end up pursuing that or not. But other than that, you can follow me, as I previously mentioned, on Xbox, Steam, GOG, everything. Just search Power Grudge, you're bound to find me.
Or Mudahen.
Or Mudahen. Mudda space HEN. You'll find me.
All right. That's it for us this week, guys. Thanks everyone for watching Follow My Tracers. Have a happy holidays, a safe holidays, a Merry Christmas. Hanukkah was yesterday, I think, so I think we missed that. But happy holidays either way.
No, actually, today's the last day of Hanukkah.
Oh, okay. Either way, happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays.
Maybe Happy New Year. We'll see if we do one in the meantime. But we'll keep everyone updated and see you guys later. Goodbye.
Have a good one. Bye.